Shalom. Call hello, Yahweh by Shem Shai by Shem Brakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone, coming at you with another lesson in truth here in Chicago. And, when you look at the times that we're in the times of Matthew, the 24th chapter. All right. With all the warnings, everything that's going on in the world. Matter of fact, let me just get it. Let's just go to it. This is Matthew 24. Let's start around verse 4. All right. I'm going to read to about 14 or 15. All right. So it reads, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, actually, let me start at verse 3. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And we, brothers and sisters, heathens, and 2/3, we're there. We're at the end. All right. Because everything that I'm about to read is applying to right now. And the men of the Great Millstone and the brothers that teach the likewise doctrine are sounding the alarm just as they were told to, just as the Bible warned when those days would come. And it reads, and verse 4, and Yahushua answered them and said, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And the gospel of the kingdom, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come. All right. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whosoever readeth, let him understand. All right. So if you don't have the understanding, and that was talking about the ancient destruction of desolation is when is basically when the triumvirate when Titus, the Vespasian dynasty, if I'm not, I believe it was Titus and his father and his brother, his brother came. That whole Roman dynasty that when they came in and basically destroyed Jerusalem. All right. But it was also symbolic to what's going on now, because the gospel of the destruction of the Lord coming and it being destruction attached to it, that's really not pushed in the Christian world. It's not. And when it is, it's kind of watered down, and they throw the rapture in there and all sorts of things that are not biblical, that cannot be backed up by scripture. All right. And here is a guy who's physically preparing himself, staying in good shape. He's got stockpiles of food. He's got stockpiles of money, gold. I'm sure he's got firearms. You're looking at this wall alone here puts him ahead of most people. All right. He's got tools for survival. You know, he's got a couple different saws. He's got a gas mask. He's got an assortment of knives over there. Salakia. He's got an assortment of knives over there on the end. Survival knives. You know, he's got well, he's even got a scope on that crossbow. All right. He's got this looks like an umbrella, a fold one that attaches to your pack. This one right here. He's got that he's got a spear with the Kydex, survival spear with the Kydex sheath over it. He's got a samurai sword. He's got an axe to cut wood, to chop wood. He's got a breaching tool. This is a really good piece of equipment right here. Pretty much open up any door, open up fire hydrants, water pipes, you know. And I imagine this is some sort of first aid survival kit right there. Sure, he's got fire starters and all sorts of things. So in one way you could look at that, this man is really a high value male. When that day comes, not the guy with six figures, a nice car, the $5,000 watch, the $3,000 pinky ring, you know, the $1,000 suit, and the $500 leather shoes. Someone like Cam and Samuels. So the guys like that mean almost nothing now. You know, it's really as we get closer and closer to the food running out and the chaos that the violence that's increasing in the cities. You know, men like this are going to be the men that's sought after at first. But the true high value male is the men of the Lord. The ones who have the Lord walking with them. All right. Or you know, the ones that the Lord walks with. This is Isaiah 54:17, which we all should be praying, adding this prayer to this scripture to prayer. But it reads, Isaiah 54:17, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servant of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. All right, so the men of the Lord, prepared men like this, a lot of men like this are going to get overtaken by other men who have also prepared, because you got men who do the opposite of their whole preparation is weapons and breaching tools, so that they can take the food, the weapons, and the substance of people like him who have prepared. All right, you got a couple different type of preppers out there. You got preppers who prep so that they can survive and take care of their families, and you got preppers who are prepped so that they can band together, go breach your dwellings and take all your stuff. You got those types out there too, because 2 Ezra 15:16, the chaos is going to come. The Lord told you that the people will wax cold because of the lack of food. All right. These things will come to pass. These are the birth pains of the ushering in of the kingdom. You know, this new baby can't be born without going through these birth pains, man. Now, some women, the birth is easier than others. All right. Sometimes it's a breeze, especially for women who are muscular and in shape and fit when they go into their pregnancy and kind of stay that way throughout. They usually have muscle to push with. You know, the old way is that women get nothing. They get babied. They do nothing. And then all the muscles, they have no strength. So they have a hard time giving birth because they have no muscle to actually push with. All right. But let's go to 2 Ezra. And this is 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, and I'm going to start I'm just going to read through it. This is 2 Ezra 15, and I'm going to start at verse 1 read to 2. And it reads, Behold, Speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true. So that's why you hear, man, y'all just talk about the same thing over and over again. This is that time. And people need to hear it. We're supposed to feed the flock. And there's still people out there who haven't heard the gospel, you know. Or sometimes people are going to hear it twice because they might have disregarded it the first time. And now they can actually see it going on. So they're seeking to learn and understand, you know. So the righteous man follows several times, man. Because some people are going to dismiss this, and then they're going to think about it like, damn, man, with them, you know, what I heard that guy say on that video, or what them brothers was, when them brothers was cussing me out on the street, you know, I was kind of upset that they was cussing, yelling at me. But then I thought about it later and I was like, well, what they were saying was real, though, you know. There's been lots of people who got their feelings hurt and cut by the prophets and end up being, and end up listening to the prophet, or in some cases, became a prophet themselves, right? Because if the Lord ordained you to do this, he ordained you to do this. Because a righteous man receiveth instruction, a wicked man just kind of shun it away. All right. Verse 15, it says, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So all these things that they're doing, these lies, whatever deep fakes they're going to create, whatever false flag events they're going to present to try to demonize the men of the Lord, it's all going to backfire. It makes you angry, and it kind of rattles you when you first see it or hear it, but it's all going to backfire, just like everything else that they do backfires. They're getting sloppier and sloppier with their they're getting sloppier and sloppier with their stuff, the things that they do these days, their events, their staged events are getting worse and worse. All right, so we jump to verse 12, and it says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment of God shall bring upon it. And Egypt is mourning right now because the lack of jobs, the lack of food, the shortness of food, the food shortages are really starting to show up, and also the what do you call it? The hyperinflation is definitely starting to set in. Prices are going through the roof, man. I went to Foxtrot the other day to sit because I had like an hour and a half before, after a client and before class started, and with really nothing to do. I'm way on the other side of town, so I went to the Foxtrot to sit down, just to plug up my phone, recharge my phone, watch videos, take notes, prepare lessons. That's what we do. So, but you just can't come sit in their property. Just can't, So I do what I normally do. I buy, a pastry, or I buy some tea, or whatever, and then I'll sit there and charge my phone, sip on my tea, watch a couple of videos or whatever, take some notes, prepare a lesson or something. All right. So I said, well, so I go in there just to buy. I bought a small thing of tea and a piece of dark chocolate, like a Reese Cups type deal, but not a Reese Cups, one of them more organic dark chocolate ones, because that milk chocolate is horrible for you. Dark chocolate is actually good for you in small amounts, in case you didn't know that. It's really good for your blood. All right, dark chocolate and red wine kind of have some of the same properties in it that's actually good for blood flow. All right, in small amounts. All right, so I bought some tea and some dark chocolate, and it came to $6.54 for a small tea. And basically a candy bar, an organic candy bar. And I was like, God damn! Now, I paid for it and sat down, but I actually put it on the table, took a picture of it and posted it, because if that's not evidence that this hyperinflation is setting in, I don't know what is. All right, But let's continue with a little bit of reading. All right. Verse 13. That was 2 Ezra 12, 15 and 12. Now I'm going to read verse 13. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting of hell, And with the fearful constellation, and all these farmers are panicking and don't and not making money and giving warning that we're getting ready to have food crises. All right. And telling you that woe is coming. This is verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. The modern day sword, you can see that samurai sword up there. A lot of people are going to die by actual sword. But the modern day sword is the gun. You know, these damn ARs and these Glock pistols, you know, those are two of the most common things that people have. You know, and a wide assortment in between, you know, shotguns and all kind of other stuff. But majority of people are, you know, out there who are prepping, they're trying to collect. They got Glocks and they got ARs. You know, that's what they're doing. And then the smart ones all know that you're gonna eventually run out of bullets, and that's when a wall like his comes into play, right? Because the bullets will run out. They showed you that in not I Am Legend, the one with Denzel, Book of Eli. You remember the scene? The guy says, "Oh, he's got a gun. I know it's empty. They always are." And that time will come. People just will be holding a firearm just to try to intimidate people to leave them alone. All right? Because there might be 1 or 2 bullets left in it, you know, which really won't help you against 15, 20 people. It might stall or make them, you know, back off for a moment. But you're gonna have to be a really good poker player to make 15 people leave you alone with one pistol. Then with a pistol when you only got 1 or 2 bullets in it. All right. But let me read verse 15 again. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another people with swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions, they shall stand in their power. All right. So there's going to be a lot of home invasions. It's happening already. You know, they haven't been reporting on. I was talking to the dude from a concealed carry instructor, concealed carry class instructor, and he said, that was back in February, January or February, and he said that how home invasions were already a problem in America, and the media just weren't reporting on them. Okay, and things were bad in January. They've gotten a whole lot worse now. A whole lot worse. You know, and then I was watching a video just a couple weeks ago, if even, and they were showing you how in LA they're doing what they call follow homes. What they're doing is they're watching people that shop at these high end places. You know, they go to like the Gucci and the Michael Kors spot. And they watch people who make all these big purchases, and then they follow them home in their cars from a distance. And what they do is they're running up on them is they're putting their keys in their doors with their, you know, when they're vulnerable, when your hands are full of bags, your keys in your hand, you're trying to open the door and your back is to the street or whatever, and these people are running up on them, you know, putting a pistol to the back of their head and forcing their way into their house and then robbing them, because they figure if you shopping at Gucci, Michael Kors, and you know, that whole sort of thing, they following you home, and you know, and then they robbing, they taking everything you just bought, plus they running through your jewelry and everything else. Pretty soon, that's gonna be food, and your woman, your daughters. So it's gonna get real bad out here, man. All right. Let me jump down to verse 19 and wrap this up. I'll read through 19 and wrap this up. Verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. There's going to be curfews and checkpoints. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And the man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So a lot of your own neighbors, you know, are going to be the very people to come visit you. Okay? Because your neighbors, you know, they're going to notice that, hey, well, they're not leaving the house, so they must be good in there. So we're going to go find out what's up. Especially if you don't have a man like this in the midst of you, You know, all these these women are about to find out that they're not strong and they're not independent. They're about to find it out the hard way. All right, so with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash, Wa Abba Babal, Kwam Yasharala Shalom.